Hey y'all, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to check out another one of my videos. Today is my long-awaited roast video. I've been teasing and hinting about it for a couple weeks now, and today is finally the day that I'm gonna sit down and roast on some makeup. I'm not gonna try to be like too mean, but I'm definitely gonna roast some makeup and we'll see how well I can roast makeup, and you're welcome to tell me if just Katie, stick to anti-hauls, and if you'll buy new makeup, you don't do roasting that well. You can feel free to let me know that down in the comments. But yeah, today we're doing it because I'm doing a collaboration with a fellow YouTuber here, and we finally got our dates synced up. It just took a little while kind of communicating, figuring out the video idea, and then communicating back and forth and figuring out a day. But today is the day, and the person I am collaborating with today is Christina Molino. Now, if you are new to her, I am so happy to introduce you to her. If you are here on my channel because you enjoy my colorful looks and me reviewing and trying a lot of indie makeup that are very colorful and fun color stories, you're gonna love Christina, and I highly recommend you go check her out. I will have Christina's channel linked down below in the description box. You can check it out after this video, which, by the way, I totally forgot to mention, this is a premiere because I'm uploading this on the days that I usually do my Will I Buy It, talking about new makeup releases, which means I'm gonna do something a little fun this week. Since I'm not really talking about new makeup releases in today's video, I'm gonna go ahead and move that over to Saturday. So if you want to tune in tomorrow, we'll do another live chat and another live premiere, and we'll be able to talk about the new makeup releases from this past week. So yeah, 2 live premiere videos from me this week. But anyway, moving right along, we are going to be doing a roast, and Christina and I collaborated on this video together. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm a little bit scattered in this video, but we're collaborating in that I am going to be roasting 10 makeup products, and Christina is going to be commenting on what she likes about them and if she plans to purchase them or not. So she's going to do more of like a, I really like this and let's talk about why, and I'm going to do more of the, I really don't like these and we're going to talk about why. So we thought to do the opposite of each other, and to make this video a little bit more fun, she had the idea to also have each other comment on our picks. So I sent over my list to Christina and told her that these are all the products I'm going to roast. She sent me comments on all those products, and then I also got her picks that she's going to be talking about in her video, and I sent over my comments to them. So we're going to read them live for the first time on camera with you guys after we've kind of either talked about, or in my case roasted, the makeup. Then I'm going to stop and read Christina's comment, and we can see if she agrees with me or if she really likes it and doesn't agree with me roasting it. I thought that'd be a really fun twist. Christina came up with it, and I was like, yeah, let's do that. That'll be fun to be able to comment on each other's videos. So that is what we're going to be doing today. And as I said, after this video is over, you can head down to my description box and I will have a direct link to Christina's video so you can watch it and see what I commented on her picks for the new makeup releases that have caught her eye. So I think that is going to be long enough for the intro. Let's go ahead and I'm going to scoot over and let's go ahead and get to talking about some new makeup releases. New-ish. Some of these are a little bit older, but newish products that I gotta roast because they're just roast worthy because they're that disappointing. Okay, first up in the roast is going to be the e.l.f. Cosmetics. This is their Electric Mood palette. Okay, my big gripe with this is I feel like overall when I look at this palette, if I'm looking at it as a neutral palette, it's like, oh, okay, it's a neutral palette. I'm not going to get super mad. But the thing that irks me and why I kind of want to roast it is because it presents itself as a very colorful palette. Like the first promo picture is what I'm going to put here that I saw. And initially with the outside packaging being such a bright yellow, and then those pops of colors in there with the blue and the yellow and even the pink being very bold, I was like, oh my goodness, this looks like it could be fun coming from e.l.f. More of like, you know, a neutral with a pop of color in there type of thing. But then the more I looked at it, I was like, that middle row honestly almost looks like the same shade of brown. Like it's just so uniform in color. And then if you kind of look at it and try your best to take out the neonness of the packaging, it's just a neutral palette, like just a typical neutral palette. Sure, they can throw the blues in there, but I feel like blues are pretty common when it comes to neutral palettes, and then pinks, of course. So like the yellow really is the only pop of something different in this very, in my opinion, neutral palette. Now I have seen different lighting on this palette, so I honestly don't know what it looks like in person, but just going off of this picture, anytime I see it, I just get a little mad because it's like, if they had put it in a black packaging, guarantee you everyone would just be like passing over and totally bored, because I just feel like the color story itself is so disappointing. And just to see a name like Electric Mood with this electric yellow packaging, it just irks me a little bit that the inside is just so neutral. And even if it was half neutral palette, because I know everyone likes to have the neutrals in there with a pop of color, okay, half neutral, but like I said, that middle row just looks so much the same. There's a black, dark brown, and like a mid-tone brown. I don't know, it's just, it looks very similar. I'm sure there's little bits of differences, but like I said, the main reason this irks me is that it presents itself initially as like a pop of color electric, like it'll be something fun and colorful, and then when you look at it a couple more minutes, you're like, oh wait, It's not really that special. It's just a normal neutral palette. Now it is a collaboration with another influencer. I don't know the influencer, and so like I said, I don't want to like me roasting this isn't to attack the person at all. They put these colors in there, that was their choice. I'm not, you know, trying to attack them in that respect, but for me personally, my preference is when I see something with such an intense name like Electric Mood, and then it's just that very like highlighter yellow packaging, I was like amped up for something special when it came to e.l.f. or at least different, or at least it touches something like, you know, a little bit of neonness, especially because I feel like this past summer, neons have been really popular. A lot of people came out with neons, and I feel like this would have been e.l.f.'s neons, you know, throwing it into the mix, but as you can see, the only thing neon about this is the palette packaging. Okay, so Christina for the e.l.f. one, she said, an old launch, but congrats to Tiana. Yeah, some of these are older. I forgot to clarify that with her, but congrats to Tiana. I can't really say anything bad about this because it's e.l.f. makeup and the affordability is just amazing. Plus our formula usually isn't too shabby. I like the color story too. Thanks for commenting on it. I told her you don't have to like roast them just because I'm roasting them. You can just give your honest opinions on them. And some of the ones I sent her, like she sent me that she was interested in, like I couldn't say I was interested, so I just gave my honest opinion. So if you want to hear my honest thoughts on what she is, you know, eyeing and whatnot, you can check out her video. Okay, I feel like everyone has roasted these, but what on earth are these, Hourglass? What on earth? Someone DM'd me and said they look like the L'Oreal little single eyeshadows that they used to sell, or they might even still sell. It looked like those, and ever since they said that, I cannot unsee it. It literally looked like they took those singles from L'Oreal, like the drugstore, like the actual compact, and just like stuck them onto a fancy palette and called it a day. Like, I don't understand it. I like the idea behind being able to mix up and, you know, choose your shades and whatnot, and a really like, you know, high-end luxury packaging. I get that, but I don't know. I just feel like when you look at this, nothing about this screams high-end to me, except maybe the outside, if the outside's like a really nice material. But just visually looking at it, it looks like a kid's makeup. It doesn't scream to me like super high-end and fancy. So that's why I'm totally roasting this, because especially for the price, we haven't even talked about the price, but the price is ridiculous. But I think just visually, this just doesn't scream, at least for me personally, anything that I would spend that much money to get something luxurious that just looks like, you know, my daughter hot glued single eyeshadows from the drugstore into a palette. Maybe it's different in person and maybe it feels a little bit better. I'm sure the quality is nice, but still, when it comes to the creativity of the eyeshadow palettes themselves, I don't get it. Okay, so Christina said, yawn, this is just a bit too boring for me. Yes, it's a wearable palette, but it's not something I gravitate to. I probably test it out and never pick it up again, and currently have too many palettes that grow dust on my shelves. Yeah, that's another thing. With me having such a love for palettes, it hurts to spend that much money on something, even like you know, the Natasha Denona. I really do enjoy it, but it hurts to know I spent that much money, and I have so many palettes that like I don't need to spend that much money. So if you're someone who like gravitates toward that, I can understand that. But even still, I'm just like, Hourglass, that was just, I don't know. I don't like the way it looks. That's my big thing. Okay, next up is from Tarte. Did you know Tarte came out with a new palette? I didn't realize either until I just took a closer look at this. But apparently they came out with a third Tartelette in Bloom, or a third Tartelette palette. I don't even know what this is called. Okay, here it is. It's a Tartelette Juicy palette. I'm sorry, I don't see that big of a difference between this palette and the other palettes they've had in the Tartelette line. Like, there's very subtle differences, but honestly, like, they're all just different varying shades of very neutral shadows. I can't believe that is like a new palette, because when I first saw it, I honestly just scrolled on past it. I was like, oh, okay, they're re-promoting one of their palettes. And then I saw it somewhere else saying, oh, this is a new palette coming out, and I took a closer look and I was like, okay, there's a couple like pinks and peaches in there. That's different, but like literally that's the only thing different. I feel like Tarte has 1,000,001 palettes that look identical to this, and I just wish they would branch out and do something different, or even if they didn't do something different, just like stop, I guess. Is that weird? I don't know. I get really annoyed with Tarte because I feel like they launch a lot of palettes with really fun packaging, but they literally all look the same. The only one that ever looked, you know, different, I would say, would be the Fire and Ice one or whatever that they did for April Fools, and then they brought it the next year and actually gave a semi-okay one. But besides that, they stick to such neutral, and not even just like neutral tones, but they stick to like light neutral tones. With having such fun packaging, it's just kind of annoying that their insides are always, their insides, that sounds weird. The inside of their palettes are just so very boring. So that's why I'm just like, nah, I can't with them. So yeah, I don't know. With this one, I couldn't believe it was a new palette because it literally just looks like all their other Tartelette palettes. Okay, so Christina for this palette said, goodness gracious, Tarte has become similar to Too Faced in the sense of the same old looking palette, right? I think it's great for people who may not have those colors in palettes, which I highly doubt because this color scheme has been done so many times, right? As an everyday palette, it's great, but I have enough of those. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if you're brand new to makeup, but at the same time, like, any one of Tarte's, what, 15 palettes that they sell could serve that same purpose. So anyway, yeah, totally agree with you there, Christina. Okay, next up is from Morphe Brushes. They launched a new and revamped 35F palette. What is this? I understand big palettes having the appeal of having just so much that you can work with. I get that, but when they're all so close and so similar, and Morphe literally has like 15 other palettes that look exactly like this, I'm just like, why? Like, they change up a few colors, they kind of change the gradient of the neutrals in each palette, and they call it a day. And I'm just, I don't know, like, maybe the formula is amazing now, maybe they've improved it and stuff, but that isn't even like my issue with them. They're just so repetitive with their palettes. And even this one, I feel like there's so many shades. Like, the beigey shimmers just all look so similar, and I feel like if I were to review this, I would get confused knowing which one I had dipped into and which one I still needed to test, because they literally just look identical to me. So I don't know, that's just something that for me personally, I don't like palettes to be so close to the gradient of, you know, making a neutral palette or making a colorful eye that you could like have one or the other. I kind of like the more curated palettes, the more curated color story that allows you a lot of options without feeling too repetitive or like you have to do the same look over and over. And I feel like with this, it just bothers me that they have so many palettes, just like Tarte. They have so many palettes like this, and then they relaunch a new palette, and they even revamped it, so they had a chance to do something different, just give pops. I feel like pops of color are getting really popular recently, and Morphe, being that affordable drugstore brand, could have like jumped on that hype. Maybe Morphe just can't do color well, and so they're staying far from it and sticking to the neutrals. Anyway, they're missing an opportunity because this is just like the million they've done before. But let's go over and see what Christina said about them. Nope. I like Morphe's palettes, but one is a snooze fest. There's so many palettes like this one, so there's nothing about it that makes me reach for my bank card. It's great that it's so affordable, but I'd rather see an amazing fall themed palette from them. Yes, exactly. Like, if they had taken the 35F in a fall route, they might have, like, if they had done it well, they might have convinced me to buy a huge palette, because I would have been down for a very like fall with those rich, those oranges and mustards and greens and reds and maroons. They could have convinced me, but this doesn't convince me. Okay, next up is from Jeffree Star, and this is a star ranch, and I am convinced that the reason you don't see much of it on his Instagram, or like the brand Instagram, is because they realize how bad this palette is. Because I went over to Jeffree Star Cosmetics, and I'm like scrolling to find where they've posted about it, where they've shared about it. I realized it was like a exclusive to a box, but still, after the box went out, I would expect to see the palette on their Instagram. And I like find one or two pictures here. The one main picture that I find isn't even like of their kind of like, what do you call it, their stage picture or their promo pictures that they take of the palette. It just looks like someone who took it out of a box and took a picture with a phone. Like, there's nothing professional about this, like, but this is the only picture I can find of the palette on their Instagram page. So that right there is like, yeah, you guys know how bad this palette is. I don't get this palette at all. It's like, it's a beautiful ranch. I love a good ranch theme. I think that's pretty. But it has a pink horse, a pink cow, no, a bison, or I think he's into yaks. Something in the background there, and then pink outlining, and it's just like, I understand he likes pink, but if you were gonna do pink, like maybe make the sign pink, a pop of pink. Like, why the pink horse and the pink yak? That doesn't make sense. And then it's like, okay, so this is gonna be an interesting like mix of neutrals with a pop of pink, you know, kind of like, you know, ranchy with a pop of pink is what I thought. Oh no, it's just a brown and blue palette. Like, that's it. And just not even a very nice brown and blue palette. There's a pop of green in there, but I don't know. I have a hard time mixing browns and blues, so to have this palette is just really uninspiring and just looks chaotic, and like I said, is really detached from the picture on the outside. I had to include this in the roast because anytime I see it, I'm just like, what is that? Like, what is that? Like, usually I feel like he does a pretty good job hitting on a really good theme and just like stunning everyone with the packaging, presentation, the thought, the color story, all that. But this is just like, no. So I can't wait to see what Christina said. So let me jump over. Okay, the Star Ranch. It gives me big vibes. Speaking on just the Jeffree Star Cosmetics eyeshadow formula, it's good stuff, but this eyeshadow palette doesn't wow me. It has shades I can definitely find in other palettes, either made by Jeffree Star or other brands. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. It's just the color story itself is just so blah. Yes, they look rich and like the blues look popping, but it's just kind of like, so detached from the outside, and so, I don't know, it just doesn't feel very well thought out or well executed when it came to a palette. So next up, we have to talk about Ciate London, and they have launched these Color Flip Light Reactive Lip Glosses. This is probably an older launch, but this is a Color Flip Light Reactive Lip Gloss because it's a lip gloss that changes color as you wear it. Now, I'm going to stick the picture here that I'm looking at. I can't get past, anytime I look at this, I can't get past the fact that honestly, it just looks like the nude lip gloss has worn down. Like, that's what my lip gloss and my lipsticks naturally look like when we're talking about the nude tones or the nude shades in here. That's what they naturally look like when they start to fade off my lips. So I'm just like, why would I want a lipstick to like look like it's leaving a couple minutes after I put it on? I could just wear it for a couple hours and it'll look like it's changed and color flipped. I don't know. For me, the big thing that I'm roasting here is just the name and just how much they're beating this whole like color flip to death, because I think it was their glitter flip lip glosses. Then they came out with something else that flipped. I can't even remember. Was it the eyeliner that was supposed to flip to glitter? They've just kind of taken this whole glitter flip, color flip thing and just, in my opinion, beat it to death. And I just kind of over this, and when I saw it, I was just like, oh, I almost forgot. Let me go and read Christina's before I move on. Okay, so she said, oh my, I do like lip gloss, so I have nothing really bad to say. It's my Achilles heel when it comes to makeup. I own way too many and can never say no to it. I'm curious about the formula. The fading part looks strange, but it's still something I wouldn't knock until I try it. Okay, maybe it's also just a me thing because I'm definitely not a person into lip products in general, but definitely lip gloss. So maybe that has something to do with why I just see this and I'm like, I already have that. But okay, Beauty Blender, we have to talk about this. Beauty Blender, I feel it could be in every single roast video because they launch something new like every month, but literally it's just a different color blender. And the most recent one, a Beauty Blender that they launched was Lavender. The original Beauty Blender, our new for summer Lilac Beauty Blender. Because it's pretty and it's different and it's new because they changed the color. It's like, okay, I get it because for so long they just had red, the red or the hot pink. I get it. It should be like a big deal when they finally launch it in a different color. But at this point, like they've pretty much done every color. So can they just put it all on their website and you just pick the rainbow, whatever you want? Like, I don't understand this whole hype of like, we're launching a new blender. It's electric blue. It's highlighter yellow. It's lilac purple. Woo, we have a new product. And it's like, no, you don't. You don't have a new product, Beauty Blender. It's the same thing. You just did it in a different color. So I get a little annoyed whenever they come out with these. I will say though that their newest launch wasn't a different color. They actually came out with cream cheek products, which makes sense because they have these blenders, they have foundation, you know, cream products, great. You can put that on with a blender. Makes sense. They finally launched something new. Okay, Christina said, what's there not to like about a beauty blender? Plus, I like the color purple. I personally love using the Juno & Co. one, so I'll pass on this launch. And not that I don't like the beauty blender. I do think it's a nice one, and if I have to use a sponge, I do enjoy it, but I've just been out of the habit of using sponges. I'm going through a brush kick, so I really haven't reached for any of my blenders, which are a lot. And I'm really not picky. As long as it's not a firm one, I'll use whatever. So for me, while I do enjoy my beauty blender, there's so many more affordable ones that I don't think I'll ever repurchase it at this point, but who knows? But I don't know. It just annoys me that they keep launching the same thing over and over and calling it new, even though it's just a different color. All right, so Etude Official launched this Mint Chocolate Play Color Eye Mini Special Kit. It was the end of July, so this is not a new release. However, I have to roast it because the outside of this packaging, the packaging and the outside of the palette looks so fun, like such a minty fun color. I'm all down for it. But the inside, like, what is this? You can't tell me that the most minty color in this palette, which is like on the bottom in the middle, that is the only color in the whole palette that looks actually a minty color. However, I'm convinced that it's going to be a very sheer iridescent topper color that you can't even really see the mint color. So with that assumption, and I realize I don't have anything to back that up because I was trying to find swatches. Oh wait, here it is. Is this it? Okay, I'll put the video here because oh my goodness, I was right. Look at how sheer that is. That mint color literally looks like glitter sparkle on the skin. Why? I feel like a mint chocolate chip palette would be so fun. And I feel like they kind of, you know, they did a good job with the packaging because it has the mint color, but then it has, you know, the dusting of like chocolate over it to kind of act like that mixing with it. And it could have been fun. So this is a total disappointment. If they had come out with a true chocolate chip palette, then I might have been halfway tempted because I do like mint chocolate chip ice cream. I do like the colors for the palette and whatnot, but the inside is just like, oh no, no way. So let me go see what Christina said about that. Let's see. I actually like Etude makeup. I haven't ever tried Etude makeup yet, and I think it has more to do with the packaging than anything else. I like that their makeup is supposed to be more on the natural side, but the things about their palette is something sometimes they can be a bit repetitive. So this is a no for me. I mean, I think they're a Korean brand, so I know their style of makeup is a lot more soft, but for me and my preferences, that's not what I go for when I wear makeup. So for me, it's a total done. This is from, okay, I just want to talk about it because I got to roast it, but I would never consider this brand. It is from Valentino Beauty. Never really heard of this brand, but apparently they're a really high-end brand. However, they came out with a compact, and it's the Go Clutch Compact, and it comes with a face powder highlighter, I believe, and lipstick combined. But the thing I can't get over is that they made it to be a clutch so that you can wear it. And I'm sorry, like, I feel like wearing a powder product in a clutch to some place where it could get bumped around, because like the string looks long, so it probably hangs around your hip. I feel like the powder would get like shattered, you know. I don't know, maybe I'm just clumsy and just I walk too fast and stuff like that. But still, if it got banged up a little bit, sitting down, you know, getting in and out of chairs, in and out of cars, whatnot, wouldn't the powder like break? Like, that's my biggest thing. Like, can you imagine taking it to an event and you have it on your hip, which again, I just feel like is a little childish to have like makeup on your hip. That just takes me back to my childhood. But anyway, say you have a makeup clutch, you bring it up to like open and do your makeup with, and it's just shattered, so then it just like gets everywhere. I mean, maybe people really need to powder when they go to fancy events like that, but I feel like having it in a clutch is a little bit more protected, I don't know, than just the clutch itself. I feel like it's such a hard case with such a soft powder inside. There's so many things to bump it into. I feel like it would break, but that's just me. You have to let me know what you guys think about this one. Okay, let's go to Christina's comment on it, the Go Clutch. Honestly, I wouldn't wear a purse that is only makeup. That's my thing too, because like if I'm gonna wear a purse, I'd want other things besides just a powder and a lipstick. Anyway, if I have a purse, it's to carry my phone, keys, and money. It's way off my style, and although it is cute, I would never use it. I want to know who is wearing this like to the Met Gala or whatever, or like that's the only one off the top of my head. I don't ever like watch any of those functions, but do they wear like compact makeup like that? I've never seen one in pictures. You have to let me know if you keep up with that. Okay, last one. We are going to be roasting Colourpop and their Astrology launch. I told you guys, I think last week, I told you guys last week, I think, that I was going to roast them because it's roast worthy, let's be real here. So they came out with a full Astrology collection, and my biggest thing that I am upset about them doing this is that if they were going to do Astrology, I feel like Colourpop could have done it right. They do their packaging so well. My thing that I just can't get over is that they chose to put it into the quads that are plastic, and the outside of the palette, the actual palette itself, the plastic clear packaging, has like nothing to do with Astrology at all. It's just their basic logo. The only aspect of these, besides maybe the label on the back that will tell you that they're Astrology, is the impression in the actual shadow has the like sign in it, and that's it. So once you start using it, no more signs there. You'll just have to remember. And it's going to be hard to remember because it's not like you can look at it and go like, ooh, yeah, that's a really, really bright green palette. That's got to be, I don't even know. I don't know Astrology, but Aquarius, I think Aquarius is that one. It's got to be Aquarius because it's so vivid and vibrant. But no, like if you actually look at the palette, it's just like a very neutral palette with a subtle hint of blue. Like the color stories of the quads themselves are just so same with that subtle hint of, you know, one being a little more green, a little bit more, you know, blue in there, a little bit more yellow toned, a little bit more pink toned, but each one of them has just such a heavy emphasis on the neutrals. I feel like Colourpop dropped the ball so much because you guys know Colourpop can do amazing. Imagine if they decide to do an Astrology collection in like their, 9-pan, even though 9-pan squares, or their 12-pan palettes with the packaging. It could have been beautiful, but instead you have this clear packaging that, you know, is encased in something that is obvious, you know, very obviously saying what the sign is, but once you throw that packaging away, which I am someone who doesn't keep the outside packaging, it's literally just a random quad, and once you start using it, the sign's gonna go away. So it's just like, I feel like they totally dropped the ball, but this is not it, in my opinion. So let's go see what Christina said. I honestly feel like they should have just made one palette instead of 12 quads. That's a good idea too. I like the Colourpop formula, so maybe I'll grab a couple of quads, but this is not at the top of my must-have list. Yeah, that would have been a cool idea too, to do one palette and kind of maybe even do like each row could have been a sign or whatnot. That would have been an idea, and then they could have really went all out with the packaging on the outside, because that's what I think Colourpop does really well, is presentation and packaging. And with these quads, it's just, like I said, in my opinion, it looks lazy. Okay, so there we have it. Those are all the products that I'm going to be roasting. You'll have to let me know what you think. I thought it was a lot of fun to get to hear Christina's side in it, because it also brought a little bit of, you know, balance to my roasting, because it makes me realize that not everyone has my opinions, not everyone has, you know, my preferences when it comes to makeup. So something that I look and I'm just like, ugh, why? Christina or, you know, you or someone else can look at it and be really attracted to it or appreciate it better than I could. So that is definitely a good reminder to have in this roast video, is that makeup is, you know, subjective. Everyone likes something differently, and there's a little bit of something out there for everyone. And if you did like anything in this video, I hope you did not take offense at me spending some time telling you guys how much I really didn't like it. But if you like it, that's great. Nothing against that. But just for me personally, it just was a big no. But anyway, yeah, that is going to do it for today's video. Don't forget to go over and check out Christina's video. I'll have it linked down below. She is a fantastic YouTuber, and she is so very creative with her looks. I feel like I didn't mention it enough in the beginning, so I'm so sorry, but I definitely highly encourage you to check her out. She's very creative with her looks. I feel like I'm always so inspired by the looks she does. She plays with lots of color. She tries a lot of indie brands as well. If you are someone who wants to learn more about indie brands and which ones to try and which ones to avoid, definitely highly recommend her as well, because she has tried so many smaller indie brands that I haven't even heard of or haven't got a chance to try yet. She has so many videos on her channel trying them and reviewing them and giving you lots of really creative looks with them. So I definitely highly recommend you go check her out. And thank you so very much to Christina for collaborating with me on this video. And if you're coming over from her channel, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you did enjoy this video. But yeah, if you want to continue getting daily content from me, I'm over on Instagram. I'm LadyKD92 over there. We have fun posting reels and pictures, and I chat in my stories every now and then. But yeah, you can check me out over there if you want to see more looks or whatnot from me. And yeah, hit the thumbs up button if you liked it, and I'll see you very soon in my next video. Bye.